Welcome back, everyone. Well, we've been discussing Social Security news for quite some time, and the fact is that it's not always going to be butterflies and rainbows. We've had an overall pretty positive outlook between the COLA increase and the recent proposals that we have heard from people in Congress, but unfortunately, there's also some bad news. So we'll be discussing that in today's video. And as always, if you have been enjoying my content, if you do appreciate the updates, if you like the output that we do for you guys every single solitary week, give this video a tremendous thumbs up, smash the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you have not already, also make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Click that big red button and that little notification bell as well. That little bell will notify you when we do post a brand new video every single solitary time. And we'll be doing our next cash giveaway when we do it 20,000 subscribers. And at the pace we're going right now, that could be right around the corner. You'll have to be subscribed to be entered in that free cash giveaway. Once you've done those couple things for me, we can get started and dive right in. So as we have discussed numerous times on this channel, you may have heard about the COLA increase. The COLA increase is the largest since 1981 in decades, and it's exactly 5.9%. Those payments will start being paid out in January. That's fantastic news. It's a very significant bump in recipients of Social Security, and people can enjoy the new higher payments. But unfortunately, there are some downsides here. There is some bad news that we have to deliver, and why there could also be some cons to come with this COLA increase. So before you get too excited, there could be some bad news as to why this bump is actually bad news for retirees. And number one, and we've discussed it so many times, but there are other reasons, so stay tuned because we'll be discussing those reasons in addition. Of course, the most obvious, number one, is going to be that COLA does not keep up with the rising, soaring inflation that we're seeing all over this country. You saw the latest news of the inflation data just recently the other day, and it is terrible. It does not look good for this country. You really got to think what the Fed is going to do and where this country is going, the direction it's going. It's not going to look good. We could probably be seeing another Jimmy Carter administration. Many people are saying that Joe Biden is the new Carter. What are your thoughts? Let us know down below in the comments. I'm curious to hear. As we are fully aware, we've become acquainted with by now, Social Security's COLA, or cost of living adjustment increase, is to allow retirees buying power to stabilize as costs do rise over time. Prices don't stay fixed, so if benefits don't also rise in addition, well, then seniors would be able to use less and less of their payments as the time goes by. The reason that beneficiaries can expect a tremendous COLA increase for 2022 is because of the soaring inflation. The problem is that even with this 5.9% increase, it may not be enough to maintain retirees' buying power. Food, housing, heating, and prescription drugs are all expected to see substantial price increases in 2022 on top of what we've already seen this year. And while it would be nice to think that the raise seniors are getting will cover these added expenses, the reality is that the Consumer Pricing Index used to determine each year's COLA isn't based on the spending habits of seniors. Instead, it's based on the spending habits of urban wage earners and clerical workers. So the result is that it often underestimates how high a percentage of income seniors spend on goods and services, especially in areas that are expected to see some of the sharpest price increases. So the fact is that even though recipients are expected to get more money in their checks, it will likely end up buying even less. And number two, that was the first reason. The second reason why this may not be good news is that the boost will not be able to reverse years of declining buying power. The same issues that Social Security recipients' COLA will not be able to keep up with inflation and is too low. These issues have been persisting for a very long time. For decades, retirees especially have received raises that are simply too small to allow their checks to allow them the same standard of living. In fact, an analysis by the Senior Citizens League revealed that there has been a 30% decline in the buying power of Social Security benefits since the year of 2000. So a large raise this year won't reverse that trend, so recipients will keep falling more and more behind and will need to rely on their savings or cut costs to balance things out, and that becomes extremely difficult when you're living on such tight margins and very little funds. And so that's the issue that we're seeing, not only on top of the soaring costs, but also the fact that even their same benefits raised doesn't allow them the same standard of living that they have been living in. So it's just a disaster and a perfect storm of why the system needs to be revamped totally. And number 3, the third reason why this COLA boost may not be so good news is that this boost is also going to affect retirees' savings accounts. Remember, recipients are only receiving this 5.9% increase because government tracking that tracks prices shows rampant inflation. The problem is that COLAs are only applied to the actual income, right? Social Security benefits and people on federal benefits, the actual benefits, but not the savings. So they have to supplement their living with what they've been saving for decades. It's also worth noting that Social Security itself was never meant to be a sole source of income for retirees. It was always meant as a supplement or a backstop for recipients, and it was only designed to make up for a portion of wages come retirement. Most seniors tend to invest their retirement accounts conservatively, not to take on too much risk and potentially jeopardize their funds, and this is totally understandable. But as a result, the investment account may not be generating a large enough return year over year to offset the rampant inflation that's occurring. So as retirees find that their Social Security benefits do not go far enough and don't cover nearly the cost of living that it's supposed to, they end up withdrawing from their savings account. And the problem is that could jeopardize their nest egg, and ultimately these funds can be diminished much faster than planned. So retirees need to be realistic. They need to understand that this COLA increase is not necessarily a rosy picture. It doesn't paint a perfect picture. It could actually be bad news for you and the majority of Americans. So overall, the fact is that you have to continue being disciplined with your budget. You have to look at your expenses. You have to see what's going in and coming out every single solitary month. And yes, that could mean cutting your costs, maybe downsizing, downgrading your style of living just to be able to afford the basics. And it could also mean looking for income generating opportunities, right? You may want to try to make some additional cash on the side. And so you have to look at all the possibilities. You have to try your best to keep up with this inflation, because right now it doesn't look like it's cooling down anytime soon. This high inflation will absolutely lead to serious financial insecurity for millions of Americans across the country. And if it's not happening right now, it's happening in just a couple of years from now when even more Americans retire. And overall, it's not the rosy picture that we would like it to be. Now, if some proposals go through and congressmen and women get their way with some of the proposals that we've talked about and discussed on this channel, those links are always down below in the comment section, well, Social Security could be totally revamped, and we could see the way that the COLA is calculated and how the increases are actually formulated. And hopefully, if something were to happen, it could mean better payments and better news for us. But right now, this is what we're dealing with. And unfortunately, so many Americans have to pull themselves up by the bootstraps when they were told and promised that Social Security is the way to be financially secure, and that will be the way to retire safely and comfortably. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are right now. Don't shoot the messenger. Hopefully some legislation can get some traction through Congress and finally be passed, and changes could be made. But for right now, more news and developments will follow suit, and we'll be sure to update you guys right here on this channel once we learn of anything and any further updates. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button. If you got value out of it, if you learned something, give it a big thumbs up. And if you would like to see more content from this channel, see more videos and more updates, make sure that you are subscribed. Click that big red button and that notification bell as well. If you want to get some free stocks, all on me, all free cash, no gimmicks, no sales pitch, no obligations. Just use those links down below in the description of this video. Sign up with the brokerage platforms Robinhood and or Webull. You get some free stocks. Some of those are valued up to thousands of dollars in some cases. So let us know what stocks you do get. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I am on Instagram at Logan Cohn, LOGANKOHN, right there on your screen. Hope you enjoyed this one. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care for now.